Hello my friend, I hope this video finds you well. This week I've been tracking some vocals, and I'm sure you know what it's like when you're tracking vocals. You're trying out different mics, you just can't quite get the sound right. You can't quite put your finger on it. I've been trying dynamic mics, I've been trying a lot of my condenser mics, and I just couldn't get there. And I was getting towards the end of the mics in my locker, and I've came across a couple of mics that really nailed it for what I was looking for. Firstly, I was looking for a really open, natural sound, and secondly, well, I'm not actually totally sure what I was looking for, but this mic did the trick. But the great news about this is that both of these microphones are budget mics. Now, I remember back in the day when I was busking and money was quite scarce. When I'd be looking and shopping for a microphone, I'd be checking out YouTube and I'd see reviews on budget mics, and they'd often be like £300, £400, £500, and I'm thinking, well, that's not actually what I think of as a budget mic. For me, like, a budget mic is somewhere probably up to £100 to £200 max. And the good news about both of these mics is they very much fit into that bracket. So very, very reasonable mics indeed that I think are punching way, way, way above their price point. And I also think there's a very good chance that you've not heard of either of them. That's why I want to introduce you to these two mics today. So in the video, I'm going to be chatting about these mics a bit, my user experience, what they can offer you, what their price is. And then we're going to take a listen to these mics, processed and unprocessed, so you can make your own mind up. Let's dive straight in. I'll be talking about these microphones and how I process them in more depth in this week's live stream. If you want access to all the live streams, plus a whole bunch of perks, plus access to all of my production courses to help you getting better sounding mixes right now from your home studio, hit the join button and I'll see you in the backstage pass area. Okay, so let's start off with this. This is CAD's Equitek E100SX, like the Equitek E series, if that's what they are. I've had a bit of a history. Yeah, there's been some E100s in the past. I'll bring that up a bit closer on the screen so you can see. So started in 1992, and it looks like pretty much like every decade there's been a new Equitek. Now, these pop up quite a lot when you search in forums. Some of the earlier versions is quite sought after, definitely for voiceover work, for their warmness and their smoothness, and just generally that they're punching a lot higher than how much they cost. And this mic, amazingly, I think still sits at somewhere like £120, which is a lot of mic for your money. I also happen to absolutely love how this microphone looks. If you love the look of those old ribbon mics, then you're going to love the look of this. It's got a real vintage vibe about it. And it has a warmness to it, kind of smoothness. I see some people that complain in forums that they find it a little bit muddy sounding. Maybe that's a quality control thing, because I don't necessarily hear that. But it definitely has got a bit more, shall I say, a bit more of a vintage sound about it, that kind of vibe. Well, you'll check it out in a minute and take a listen for yourself. It has a high pass filter switch and a 10 dB pad as well. Yeah, it's got that smooth vintage vibe about it. But the thing that I've often found is that it's just worked in mixes. I'm not quite sure why, but particularly in band mixes, once there's some guitars and drums involved, it just seems to sneak in there and get closer than a lot of other vocal mics. And I was trying a whole bunch of mics for this recording. I was trying Essie's 4100, tried Octavia's 319, again, a bit more of a vintage warm kind of vibe, trying a lot of condenser mics around this price point, or around the £200–300 price point. Remember, this mic is a lot cheaper than that. Let's dive into the DAW and check it out. Okay, so let's take a listen to this song. First off is the vocal from the top with all the processing.
You taste like my home, and you'd make the best friend, but he's already in love with you. What do I do?
Just a really nice smooth sound that works well in the mix. Let me play that to you without the processing.
You taste like my home, and you'd make the best friend.
I see where they're getting at with that vintage vibe. It just also sounds very smooth. I also get it, there were some voices, it could certainly sound a little bit too muddy, but for mine, which is a fairly lowish male vocal, I think it works really well. I think it could be really, really good with a female vocal too. Let's take a listen to it in a busier part. Let me put the processing back on and take a listen to this in the chorus.
Won't you stay? 'Cause I shiver without you, and every word you wrote stole the stars I hung around you, and now I watch them fall around.
That does not sound like, to my ears, a budget microphone. By budget, I mean just over £100. This is a really, really inexpensive microphone. I think is incredibly good value. Now, secondly, we're looking at this Stellar's X2 from the very cheap sounding Techzone audio products company. That's got that real premium sound about it. But the mic is much, much better than what that sounds like. Feels really nice and solid. And I think what Techzone do, as far as I remember, is use American parts but get them assembled in China. I think that's the right way around. There's certainly something in their business model which made this mic cheaper to manufacture but enabled them to offer you a more quality product. So it feels very decent in the hand. It's quite a small little microphone really, not a huge condenser, and you also get it in a nice carry case with a windshield and a standard shock mount too. Now, they have a few different products out. They have a vintage version, which I suspect is going to be more along the lines, say, of the CAD or the Octavia 319 I was mentioning, a bit more of a warmer microphone. And they also have a new, more premium mic out at the moment too. I was talking to them a couple of weeks ago, hoping that they might distribute this way in the UK, but the distribution seems a little bit limited over in this country, but it's well worth shopping about. This is like their kind of more standard large diaphragm condenser, I guess, and it's got a very, very clean, natural sound about it that I really like. Now, it doesn't work on everything. I found, say, working with the band recording with this CAD Equitek, that it was just too honest, but with acoustic guitar and vocals, this is an absolute killer mic for the money. I think it's still hovering just sub £200, so really, really good value. And I think probably with its name, Techzone, a lot of people are going to avoid it. You probably could pick it up pretty cheap secondhand. But great with acoustic guitar, great in anything which is quite sparse and you want a real detailed vocal. This is well worth checking out. It also does it without getting that sort of brittle harshness on the top as well, which is a real giveaway for cheaper condensers. Take a listen. Okay, so this track very much in a kind of demo stage at the moment, just guitar and vocal, and what I'm looking for is a really natural sound from the microphone. It's got a little bit of channel strip processing and a bit of compression on here. Just take a listen with the acoustic guitar.
These days have come and gone, full moons and hazy summer sun. And how is the river running faster now?
Let's just take a listen without the processing. Let me just turn this up a little bit so you can hear it at the similar volume.
These days have come and gone, full moons and hazy summer sun. And how is the river running faster now?
I think a really lovely natural sounding mic. It's got a definite expensive sound about it. It's definitely a step away from the warmer vintage vibes of the CAD Equitek. If you're looking for a more natural, open sounding mic, which I don't think gets overly cheapy, brittle in the top end, then I think this mic is definitely well worth checking out. As I say, I really like this microphone as in a sparse mix, guitar, vocal, guitar, piano. I think it excels. So there you go, a couple of excellent proper budget microphones which you could probably get really, really cheap on the second-hand market. Probably both of these sub £100, so crazy cheap. Got the Equitek up there, which I'm not going to move because I still haven't finished tracking, and Techzone's excellent Stellar X2. Check out that whole range. Well worth checking out both of these microphones. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It makes a massive difference to the channel, so thank you so much in advance. If you want to get more involved, if you want access to the live streams where I'll be talking about these microphones and talking about the processing that I've done on these microphones in these recordings, don't forget to take part in the live stream, and you can get access to all of those live streams just by hitting the join button below this video. You'll also get access to all my courses, which are going to help you to get better sounding productions from your home studio right now, all for the price of a cup of coffee. Hit the join button and I'll see you inside. And if you want more help with your music production or your music career, then be sure to check out all the resources over at realhomestudio.com. Now, if you enjoyed this video today, you definitely want to check this next one out.